Yes, Tanta. Okay. Um, Welcome, guys. Welcome to Faith and Finance. I'm so excited tonight. I have a special guest. So, welcome again, and thank you for taking your precious time to join us tonight. I'm so excited. My guest looks so excited right now. So we're about to start. Thank you for joining. Thank you for tuning in. And we are so glad, really glad you are here. You're joining and watching. So on this channel on Faith and Finance, we talk about faith, personal finance. I also share my journey to early retirement because I'm planning to retire early. And I'll show you how I stay motivated. I'll share how I stay productive and how my faith or how faith in general drive my long-term fulfillment. So today, as you see, as you know, as I've announced, I have a special guest. I'm joining tonight by one of my longtime friends. It's been more than 20 years. We've had a long journey so far. He's a fellow brother from Cameroon, where I come from, and now he's thriving in the US, working in the biotech space, and he's deeply passionate about all things personal finance because he's also a coach and mentor. He can help you manage your personal finance the right way. So I just want to help. Join me to help to welcome my special guest, Dr. Kamdem Donald. So he doesn't like me to call him doctor, and I understand because of the relationship. So for tonight, he allows me to call him Donald just by his first name. So today we'll be real, really authentic. We'll share the immigrant journey in the US, the debt trap, and the roadmap to financial freedom, which takes more of intentionality than just guessing. So if you ever struggle with your money or if you're building a new life from scratch in a new country, in a new culture, today's conversation will really inspire you. Believe me, he will equip you and you will feel really challenged after this conversation because I'll be just talking with my friend. So I just want to take this time before we dive into the question and other things to tell you, Donald, I'm so glad, so excited, and thank you for your time, for taking a piece of your time to come on my channel to share your journey. And I know you have a lot of stuff to share. You have a lot of wealth and riches inside of you. You will share with uh, people, my community who dare to follow me and listen to what I say. So, welcome, welcome. I'm glad to have you. Welcome on Faith and Finance. Welcome on this discussion. So, welcome.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can
Uh,
hear you.
okay, great.
I
So
can hear
allow
you.
me to greet you as we did in Cameroon. How now should be to start.
No, should be.
Yeah, no, so I'm really happy to be here and thank you for having me. Since
Yeah.
you started your channel, I've been following you. I see all the work and dedication you are putting in this, and this is just amazing. Sometimes when we see your videos or messages, we don't know the amount of work that you put into that. Just
Yeah.
prepping this live with you, I could acknowledge the amount of work that you have to do in the background. And I really wanted to say, great job, keep going. I'm so happy to be here. And how are you? How's the family doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Family is doing amazing. I'm grateful for life.
And you look
Thank you
good.
so much. Ah,
And
thank
you
you.
look
You
good.
look good too. We haven't changed that much.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
when you
so I see people dropping in the comment. Yes, I'd like to acknowledge Romaric. It's a long friend too, long time friend as well. And Lakey, I'm sorry if I misspell your name. Welcome. Please drop in the comment section where you're watching from. Let us know where you're watching from. And then you'll see few questions in the comment section. If you have few time while you're listening, you can answer them. Just drop your location so we know you're here and you know you're watching. Thank you so much. So, my dear friend, before we dive into the question, I think I'll ask you something. Um, Let me see. So, I would like to hear from you, from your story. What sparked your passion for personal finance? And also, what inspired you to start coaching other people to make better financial move with their money or better decision with their money? Because I know you're really passionate about personal finance and you don't like, you love coaching people. So tell us something about you. Tell us why and how it started.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's a great question, and I've been teaching for many years now, and
Mhm,
actually, I like to coach. I like to share what I know, and finances is one important part of whatever we are doing. I'm a very ambitious person, and you guess that to reach your life goal or professional goal, finances play a huge role on that. So when I joined the US, actually, I think I'm also biased with my background as a researcher. I like to search, and
yeah.
I found out that the US is a system. And my curiosity pushed me to try to dig and understand the system. And I
Mhm,
think finances is one of the biggest uh, I want to say system again in the US. So for me, it was something really important to understand, to master, not only for me, so that I can also share with other people to try to avoid maybe some mistakes that I made when I also joined.
mhm.
Yeah. So this is what actually drew me in finances, and I will give you more details as we go on.
Okay, okay, for sure, for sure. I'm gonna get edit I mean as many as I can from you tonight. Yes, so let's settle everything first before we move on. So my first question to you will be, what made you leave Cameroon and pursue a new life here in the United States, first of all?
Oh yeah. So I think it would be funny to tell you that I've never. So it was not my dream to join the US. Uh,
Okay.
you know that back home there are people they have a dream country. I never had
Yes.
something like that. That I'm dreaming to go somewhere or to live somewhere. So
Really?
yeah, never. I don't want to say that I reached the US accidentally, but I will give you more details. So what happened is back home, I was in the medical field doing medical lab, and I was pretty good at what I was doing. And
Mhm,
honestly, I was doing diagnostic, and I get like to do medical exam, a lot of medical exam, and I was bored.
mhm.
I was bored because, when you do diagnostic, it's like you only have two outcome. It's either
Yeah.
positive or negative, right? And
Yes.
after doing that for years, I needed a new challenge. Really, I was well paid, but I was feeling like, okay, this is boring to me. I want to do something different. I want to do something new. And I then decided to engage myself in research. I wanted to do a PhD at that time. And back
Mhm.
home we don't have all those opportunities that we have elsewhere. Here
Yeah.
sometimes I just laugh when I see PhD candidate, they have to do rotations in lab to find out if they like what the PI is doing or not. But we
Yeah.
don't have that back home. So you do whatever you find. So the only thing I knew is that I want to do my PhD outside of Cameroon. The
Okay.
reason was I wanted to experience something new. I wanted to
Mhm,
challenge myself in a new environment because I was kind of well known in my field back home.
Mhm.
I was kind of like I had a kind of reputation. And when you are in your comfort zone, you cannot grow. Like, I wanted to grow more. So I say, okay, let me go out of my comfort zone somewhere
Mhm.
where I can, be challenged. And
Yes.
honestly, I put in like 273 application, PhD application. I will not. I will never forget this number, because just to show how hard it is, right? And
Yes.
I didn't have like a country. I was just applying everywhere. And I
Wow.
think I really like the name of your channel. And when you say faith and finance, I think also God has a plan for us that we don't even know. But because you
Yes.
don't know the plan, you just have to push, right?
Mhm.
So uh, uh, I submitted 273 application. 272 were not successful, and that one
That's a
was
lot.
exactly was successful. And guess what? That one application, that's why I really want to call faith here. That one application was not complete. So when I submitted that application, it wasn't complete. I couldn't provide all the recommendation letter I needed. So for me, it was
Oh
just,
wow.
yeah, it was just okay. I will not get that one. And this is the one that God say, my son, no worry. This is the one you will get. And
Wow.
I then moved to South Africa to do my PhD, and my plan was after my PhD is to stay in South Africa
Yes.
and continue my postdoc there. That was the original plan. And
Yeah.
I even have a mentor of me, one of my mentor, a very good person. Yeah, I won't say the name because I didn't ask him the permission,
Yeah.
But
No problem.
what is funny is that he was in the US already and he wanted me to join the US, and I said no. And he said,
You said no?
yeah, that I don't want to come. I wanted to stay in South Africa. And after
Okay.
that, I saw doors starting to close. And I said, okay, let me look for opportunities in Europe. And he came a second time, say, hey, Donald, come to the US. And I said, no, twice. And then after that, everything, I wasn't getting any opportunity to further my career. And then one
Mm-hmm.
opportunity just opened in the US. And I think maybe that
Mhm.
was God uh, route for me. And this is how
Yeah.
I joined the US. So this is a kind of summary of my. I didn't move from Cameroon to the US, but I
Yeah.
actually went to South Africa first, and I end up here in the US. Yeah.
Okay. So you were not impressed by the United States at all cost.
Oh, not at all. To tell you the
Okay.
truth, the big ship was moving from Cameroon to South Africa. I was
Mm-hmm.
in an environment where it was the biggest cultural shock. So
In
I,
terms of what?
in terms
Infrastructure? What?
infrastructure, in terms
Okay.
of difference in development, the lab,
Okay.
we had equipment that I've never seen before, right?
Okay.
So I
Okay.
really had to adjust. And for me, it was like, wow, I wanted to get out of my comfort zone. Here I am, right?
Wow.
And
Mm-hmm.
this is where I just say, my plan moving from Cameroon to South Africa was okay, I complete my PhD, I go back. But I quickly realized that with the amount of skills I could build in South Africa, they,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I won't be able to use them back in Cameroon. So this is
Okay.
how I started to look elsewhere where I can actually use those skills. Yeah,
Okay. Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. You knew your value. It wasn't by mistake. You were planning and you were looking for better opportunities where you'll be valued based on your competencies and your credentials.
correct.
This is an amazing, yeah. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. And I believe they receive something from this part. So let's get into the money question. I think that's mostly why we're here.
Okay.
So the first one will be okay. You get here in America. Did you come with your family right away because you were married before you
Yes,
moved here?
that was even one of my conditions in South Africa. I think it was really hard and it was cold. And I say, okay, when I got the position in the USA, I'm coming with my family or I'm not coming. And
Okay.
the person hiring me at that time, he was really supportive, and for him, it was okay. So yeah,
Okay. So you moved right away with your family, or they move after?
no, we came together. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's
Mhm.
that's that's good.
And that was a
Okay.
challenge as well, but yeah, it was worth it.
Yes. Yes. To pick up from the challenge you just mentioned,
Hmm.
what was your biggest financial challenge when you arrived here? What was your biggest? Okay, when you got here, did you already have money saved to to start off well, or did you have to start from scratch with
I,
without even earning your first salary yet?
I
So
even want to say that I started from the negative, because starting from scratch is like starting from zero. The thing is,
yes.
uh, when I was doing my PhD in South Africa, the salary was low, you know,
Okay.
and I had a family back home. So my salary was kind of splitted. I had to live there, and Cape Town is a very expensive place to live,
Mhm.
So I had to split my salary, send some back home to take care of the family and also to live. So that means
Mhm.
I had almost no saving, right? With a PhD
Yes.
salary, yeah, it wasn't possible. Then when I got the opportunity to join the US, I didn't
Mhm.
even have money to buy my flight ticket. And I was moving with the whole family. So we were talking about like four people moving here. And this is where I think the community is incredible. I had support. So someone pay my flight ticket for me that I had to reimburse when I will start to work. So that
Okay.
was amazing, And when we moved here, I also got someone hosted us for month, and so I was living there. I didn't have my salary to pay anything, but the person bear with me, for
Mhm.
few weeks so that I can have everything settled to get my first salary before
Wow.
I can pay the person. So it
Okay.
was really incredible to have that support from
Yeah.
people that were around here before me. And
Okay.
it, it really helped a lot. Now, coming back to the biggest financial challenge, beside what I just said, I think
Mhm.
uh, I'm, I'm more of a content person, you know.
Okay. Yes, that's
So,
right.
yeah, I was kind of okay with what I was earning. We
Mhm.
always wish for more, but the fact that I was here with my family for me was enough. It was just
Oh,
like if you have to, we say tapioca, if you have to drink Gary, eat the
Gary.
Gary to sleep, I was fine with that because
Mhm.
my family was with me. So I didn't really have like a big financial challenge. The salary also, we always wish for more. And when you joined here, I understand people, they were telling me, hey, when you go to the US, go first, go alone first,
Yes.
settle and bring the family.
That's what most people do.
Yes.
Yeah, to prepare the way before the family move after.
And I learned it the hard way because when you move, they consider you as single for tax purpose, for example. So
Okay. Yes.
I had a family, but I was paying a lot of taxes. So
Oh,
meaning that what you take home is very small.
yes.
But it didn't really bother me. I was just there with my family, my kids, and I was happy.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
yeah, it was fine.
Okay. Okay. So you were not contributing with your host like every month something, contributing money, or your host was so was so generous to host you for free the whole time you stay with them with your
No,
family.
yeah, no, absolutely. I was paying rent, but
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So the help that I got, which is incredible to me, is that I
Mm-hmm.
didn't pay right away. Rent you have to pay even before you enter the house, right? So the person understood that I have to settle. I have to get my social security number. I have to
Oh,
start work. I have to wait the end of the month before I get my first salary. So the person was
yeah.
very patient with me
Oh, wow.
for me to settle and to have money to pay back. And also, even having someone that will show you places like this is where you can grocery shop for cheap. Those are
That's right.
invaluable, yeah, help that you cannot even quantify that. So
Yes.
the person carry my family and I around, like going to the grocery shop with her car. It was just amazing. It was an amazing help. So yes, I was paying rent, but there are stuff that you cannot quantify, right?
Yes, that's right. That's
Hmm.
right. Wow, that's good. Now let's move to when you started paying your own bills. You moved to your apartment or your house, renting. What happened from there? So far I don't see any big challenges. And then now you know the system. When you get here, you get mails with credit card suggestion to debts all over the place. That is so easy compared to where you come from, compared to where we come from. That is so available. So share with us the moment you realized debt was becoming a heavy burden, or if you did you get any debts to actually move on, because you, as you mentioned, the salary for a family of four at that time, was it like consequence enough or substantial enough to sustain you all, so you didn't
Yeah,
have to get into debt or something like that? What is your relationship with that and the
yeah, no,
culture?
yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. That's a great question, actually. Uh, you know, I s- my whole time in South Africa, I didn't get a car because I was
Oh,
alone. I was just walking. I was at a walking distance from work. When needed, I was taking Uber, and but because I was here with the family, and you said it well, when I had to move and get my own apartment, I
yes.
actually needed a car, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So, and when you join here, this is what people will tell you, no, if you need a car, it's fine. Just go and finance it. So take debt, buy a car, and you pay monthly every. So it's a kind of culture, right? And
Mhm.
when you're around that culture, you kind of also start to believe. So
Mhm.
when I was moving out of that house to get my own apartment, I told you I came like in the negative. I had
Yes.
to reimburse the money that was used for my flight ticket, and I
Yeah.
also I needed to get a car. This is where I started to date debt, and and that was a funny story because I needed a car, and I went to the dealership that
Mhm.
I think I will rename Stealership because of what they do in there. So what
Dealership.
happened is that I needed a car, right?
Mhm.
And I couldn't get a car because I didn't have a credit score. And I started to ask myself, what is a credit score? A credit
Mhm.
score, okay. No one really had a great answer for me. The answer was always like, here, you need a credit score. But what is a credit score? Uh, you have to take credit card and start to build your score. Okay, okay. But what
Mhm.
is a credit score? No one really gave me an answer. So I went to the dealership. What I
Mhm.
did first before, I couldn't even get a car because I don't have a score. Showing up
Mhm.
from Africa, they cannot trust you, right? I followed
Yes.
the advice. I opened my first credit card. And
Mhm.
when I opened, actually, I did my social security number. I feel like I was already in the system, and I was
Yeah.
getting like mail, congratulations, you got approved. And after applying for so much PhD fellowship, where I was getting, sorry, we are sorry to inform you that you were not selected. Now I joined the US. Congratulations, you got approved for something I never applied for. Right?
Yeah.
Just call the number in this. Yeah, just call this number to get approved. So I opened a credit card and I started to use credit to purchase whatever I needed. But the
Mhm.
different thing was, okay, I was paying off at the end of the month. So I was just using it for my regular expenses, and at the end of the month I will pay. This allowed me to build a little bit of credit so that I can
Yes.
get a car because that was the advice I was given, right?
Right.
Now going to the dealership, what happened is, okay, they say, okay, my credit history is not enough. And I was okay, credit history. I didn't even know exactly what. Okay. And then they say, what kind of car do you want? I just wanted a car that can accommodate my family, right? They say, okay, we will run credit and see. And guess what? They run credit to try to borrow me the money to get the
Mhm.
car. I didn't know anything. So
Yeah.
what saved me is that the bank actually limited the amount of money they could borrow me. This is
Okay.
why the dealership stopped at that amount, just to tell you that if they could even go higher to like lend me more money, they would have done
Yeah.
that. You see what I mean?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
that sale guy was so nice to me. I was telling my wife,
They're
this guy
always nice.
is really here to help me. He's really care about me. And this is how I get locked in a car loan. And guess what?
Mhm.
In the car loan, I purchased a lot of stuff I didn't even know, like extended warranty, gap
Yes.
insurance. Everything was new to me, and no one was there to explain to me what I was getting in, right? I just wanted the car. And what I was looking, like many people do, how much will it cost me per month? And that was it. This is all I needed, right? And now I drove the car back and I had a car. I
Mhm.
got the loan, and let me tell you, they sold me the car higher than the value of the car. They added everything that they could in my loan until they reached the point where the bank will not approve.
Wow.
So that means I could get the same car at a cheaper
It's
price, but
that.
I didn't
Yes.
know, right? So the bank at that time saved me, not because they love me, but because they were taking too much risk of giving me more money, right?
Yes. Because yes.
And kind of, I don't like that from back home, right? I was okay. I got this car, but I have to pay this like faster, I don't want to sign. And one event actually changed, and I want to say put me even further in debt. And like, I think it was 4 months or 5 months when I joined in the US, I was involved in a car accident
Oh
with
wow.
my whole family in the car. So
Mhm.
one drunk driver, he just came like in front of me without stopping at a stoplight, and we couldn't like avoid the crash, and boom. Now I
Wow.
needed another car, and the car wasn't paid off, obviously. It was just like 5 months. So I needed another car. With my family, you already have some habits, right? So I needed another car fast. So
Mhm.
I went again to the dealership, and I looked at another car, and I wanted the car. And when I bought that car, the total amount that I would have to spend to get the car was like $31,000 to pay
Okay.
that car. And I was like, the car was, I will not also give like the brand and the make, because that's not the point. And
Mhm.
the car has 90,000 miles. So
Mhm.
when I was driving the car, I was feeling like, okay, because I'm someone, I'm always like aware, right? I was feeling like, okay, no, this is not right. Something is not right, right?
Yes.
Yeah, something is not right. I started to look, and I noticed that I couldn't trust my environment financially anymore. So
Mm.
I had to do my due diligence, because I had a lot of questions. And let me tell you this, to build credit, I am awesome. Because when they told me I need to build my credit score, I learned everything I could know, right? So if you
Mhm.
want to build credit, I can give you awesome tips because I master it. Now
Yes.
I felt like, okay, this car is already like 90,000 miles.
Mhm.
I'm paying 31,000. No, you know what? I have to change this car. And I started to look. I say, oh, there are brand new cars starting at 35,000. And I say, I'm paying 31,000 for a car with 90,000 miles. I better get a brand new car, and then I will stop there. I will not buy anymore. And then I say, okay. I started to look for cars. I wanted to buy a car. And I think I was still traumatized by the accident. And by the way, so no one has, it was fine. We were all fine after the accident. And I started then to say, okay, I want to get a new car. I, s-
Mhm.
I went online in the website of a manufacturer. to build
Mhm.
a brand new car. Because see, I step on my first car loan was like 10,000. That's all the bank could give me, right? The second one, I
Yes.
was already at 31,000. You see? And now I was
Yes.
feeling like 31,000 for that old car was too much. I better get a brand new car because it start at 35. And guess what? When I go online, I start to build the car. Is very fun, Shubib. You have to choose the car
Wow.
color, choose do you want the leather or seat like the heated seat, the cool seat, heated seat. I was just clicking tick 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 tick, and then at the end of the day it was like 50K. So it went
Okay.
up to 50K. And then to buy the car it was like 760 per month. And I was just like, yeah, I can afford it. 700, I can squeeze my paycheck to, you know, at least I have a brand new car with 0 mile. Okay, by the way, it was 12 mile on the odometer, and I will keep this car for 10 years. So that was the
Mm.
rationale. And why? Because when building the car, I was putting all the safety feature that I could because I was thinking about that accident. I was saying my family, and I was saying, wow, if I lose my family, I lost everything. They are the most
Okay.
important thing to me. So I want a
Yeah.
car that can even brake when something bad is happening. I took all the latest technology that you can imagine, I put in the car. The car
Nah.
can drive alone, the car can brake alone, the car can whatever. So I was feeling like I'm protecting my family by doing that.
Okay.
And the cost of the
Hmm.
car was 50,000. So I went
Wow.
from 10,000,
Yes.
31,000. Now I was at 50,000.
Yeah.
And everything was rationalized that I have to protect my family.
Yes.
And if you talk to me at that time, I would say my family is the most important, even if I have to spend 100 for. So that was my mentality. And
Yes.
then when I got the car, one thing happened. And I think it was something that really touched my ego. The
Hmm.
car was almost my annual salary. And they did approve me
Wow.
for that. Can you imagine? And
Wow.
it was a Saturday. I picked up the car. I drove the car. It was a nice car. It was nice. The car was smelling good, everything. And then on Monday, they called me saying that, you know what, the bank decide not to approve you anymore because this car is so expensive for you, and you
Wow.
have to bring back the car. And I was just,
What?
what? This car that we love? No, no, no. I told them that, you know what? I just break the rear view mirror. So if you want, I can bring back the car, but it's no longer a new
Hmm.
car. And they say, okay, okay,
Hmm.
is it broken? I say yes, but I can still bring. And they say yes, yes. No, no, no. Wait, wait. We try to figure out something. And finally, they call me and say, you know what? We finally approve you with a different bank who accepted to approve you, but the interest rate is higher. You follow me? So
Hmm.
they first said that I cannot afford the car, but suddenly I can afford the car with a higher interest. You see the system? And this
Yes.
is where I say, okay, my ego was like, I want something and people are telling me I cannot afford it. And that day I say, this will never happen again.
Happen again.
That
Hmm.
I want something and someone else tell me that I cannot afford it because I need their money to actually get what I want. Moving
Wow.
forward, I will never again try to get someone else's money to get what I want. And that was the breaking point. And
Okay.
I started to be curious. And you will laugh, but I type on YouTube how to pay my car loan in 1 day. And then I started to have, AI will start to feed uh, your
Yeah.
yeah, your page with
It's good.
some financial
Hmm.
gurus. This is how I started to read. I started to be aware what is a car loan, and I found out that I signed for a lot of stuff that I don't need in my car loan. I
Yeah.
started to identify.
Sorry, I'm
Yes,
not just. Tell me when you look at the contract of your car.
yes.
If you paid the car in 5 years, what would have been the amount, the total amount you would have paid with the interest?
Let me correct you. It was 6 years. So it would have been 60. It would have been 60,000,
Okay, six so 10,000 more.
10,000 in interest.
Okay.
But
Mm-hmm.
I will get back to that why is bad. But I was
Okay.
already aware to the point
Mm-hmm.
where I was aware for the second car that I got at 31,000. When I went
Mm-hmm.
for this brand new car, all the element that they actually sell you to steal your money, I was aware. So when I enter,
Mm-hmm.
and I will tell you this, the dealership, they make the most of the money in the finance office. They don't make
Yes.
money selling car.
Selling cars. Yes, that's
In the
right.
finance office, because you buy a car and you are broke, they will even sell you like key protection. You know, the key fob of this new car, if your key fall in the water, to replace it, it's like 1,500 and you panic. But if you
Mm-hmm.
add key protection, it's just $5 more per month. And I see
Yes.
$5, it's fine. And you just take it. So what I did for that brand new car, I was already aware. I went
Mm-hmm.
inside the finance office and I say, hey, you know what? I worked for a dealership before. He said, hey, really? I said, yeah. So everything that the key protection that you plan to send, they extended, I listed them all. The guy looked at me, please, I don't want them. So let's not waste our time. I just
Mm-hmm.
want the car and the taxes with the
That's it.
because yeah, that's it. And the guy
Yes.
said, okay, I say, I told you, let us not waste our time. I'm not taking anything. And because previously they got me, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I got that car. I typed on YouTube how to pay your car in 1 day. And I started to educate myself on car loans. How does it work?
Education, really
Principal,
important.
interest,
Mm-hmm.
principal, interest. And I told my wife, you know what? This car is bigger than us. And I can tell you, and everyone following this will agree with me. When you
Mm-hmm.
buy something that is bigger than you, all you are thinking is on that thing. So
Mm-hmm.
when my wife will drive the car, go and it is snowing, I will be there panicking, trying to know if everything is okay.
Yes,
It is so like what if what so you don't have peace. You see what I mean?
that's right.
Yeah, but if it's something like you
Yeah.
spend like $1, you don't even care if you don't see it for 2 days. You don't really care. So
Mm-hmm.
all my emotion was there. What if someone come and you don't have peace? And I told her,
Mm-hmm.
you know what? We need to get rid of that debt.
Yes.
My son was 6 years at that time, and I say 6 year debt. So I will pay off this car when the guy is 12, trying even to drive already. So he will try to drive, and I say no. And this
Mm-hmm.
is what was a game changer. We say, okay, I want us to pay this in 2 years. And
Mm-hmm.
you can make plan. Those are just wish. You need a plan.
Yes.
Yeah, online calculator. How do we make this happen to pay in 2 years? How much
Mm-hmm.
more we need to pay every month? We knew exactly how much we need to our monthly payment to pay in 2 years. And
Yes.
we say, okay, how do we get that money? My wife decided to start a side hustle because we love the car. We didn't want to, sell back the car, and we say we will do everything to pay this in 2 years or 2.5 years. And we
Mm-hmm.
started to be aggressive at side hustle to get as much as money that we could to put
To
on
put.
the car. And guess what? We were so dedicated that I think even God blesses us. We end up paying that
Wow.
car in
Yeah.
13 months, so in 1 year.
Wow.
And to tell you, I started by saying that that car was almost my yearly salary.
Yes.
So to pay it in 1 year, that just means we put all my salary in the car and we live out of side hustle. You see how intense we were?
Wow. That's gazelle intense.
I think we were not even eating rice and beans. We were
Right,
eating
Sim?
rice and rice. right?
The,
Because beans
the
were
Ramsey
expensive.
says that the Ramsey is a financial guru, personal finance in America. And he says when you have debts, you only live on rice and beans. No eating out, no nothing until you pay off all those debts. So he's saying Donald is saying he wasn't even on rice and beans, but on rice and rice.
Yeah,
It's
because
just
beans were expensive. So this is how we
mm,
really push, and I can tell you it was incredible because it was
wow.
the whole family journey. I printed those, you see those chart to track. So I printed a
Yes.
nice chart with the car,
Mm-hmm.
and every
Mm-hmm.
time that we pay something, we will color.
Yeah.
And the coloring, every kid has his sheet to color. Sometimes the
Yes.
kid will say, "Hey, dad, bring that sheet. I want to color." I say, "My son, I have to pay before you color." So I even had accountability from the kids.
Yes.
They wanted to
Wow.
color. So we were on board 100%, everyone. And it
Wow.
was so rewarding to see my 6 years old when the
Mm-hmm.
little sister say, "Hey, daddy, this is McDonald." And he say, "Nope, we have to save money." My 6 years
Wow.
old, we have to be debt free. I say, "Well, we are going somewhere." And the last piece
Wow.
of the story is the last payment was 15,000. When we made that payment, I recorded it. I still have the video of that.
Yes,
And
I watched your debt free scream as a family. It was amazing. It was amazing. And I so like your enjoy your journey because you involve your family, your beautiful wife, your amazing kids, and they're learning in the process, seeing the dad paying the price. Yeah,
it was
that was
amazing.
just yes.
It was, and and to not to burn. And I have to acknowledge, I have an amazing wife because
Yes, you
she
do.
she took extra shift. She was like,
Mhm.
she will go work, finish around like 1 a.m. The next
Yes.
shift is at 3 a.m. She will look for a bench to sleep there and wait for the next shift. And I was dealing with all the kids annoying me, and it was just like, wow, we were hardcore. And we had
Wow.
some motivation, like every time that we pay 5,000, we got to enjoy $50.
Okay.
So we will go somewhere and spend $50 for every 5,000 to keep the momentum and not to burn out. And
Yes.
I was saying that the last payment was 15,000. When we made that payment, the bank blocked the transaction. And they
Yeah.
call me, "Is everything okay?" I say, "Yeah, we are seeing like a transfer of 15,000 is." And that was the first time that 15,000 is going out of my. And I say, "Yeah, no, no, it's fine, it's not a fraud, it's me making." "Are you sure you
Yeah.
want to make?" I say, "Yeah, I'm double sure." "Are you sure?" I say, "Yes, I'm pretty sure." And they say, "You can put that money in your saving account, blah, blah." I say, "Nope, I just want." And that was rewarding. And I
Yeah.
think when you start something and you are dedicated, God bless you.
Amen. That's
I
true.
couldn't imagine we would do that in 1 year. I pay
Wow.
off, uh, it was 5 years earlier. So
Mm-hmm.
we save a lot in interest. And
Yes.
now, yes, it was the biggest journey.
Wow. Wow. So at this time, you don't have any car loan, you don't have any credit cards, or you have a credit card and you manage, or how does your debt situation, how do your debt situation look like now, right
Yes,
now?
I'm happy to say that I'm debt free. I don't owe anyone
Yay!
anything, right? And
This is amazing.
yeah, and after, so when we pay off, we needed another car, and I
Mm-hmm.
saved to pay that bigger car. And that bigger car, I paid like, it was $5,000, right? I pay cash for that,
Mm-hmm.
and guess what? I love that car. It has like 145,000 miles. The engine
Mm-hmm.
was having a funny noise, and I was just like, I wanted to see how far it can go. So every
Yes.
mile I was putting on the car, I was just enjoying to every morning when I start the car start and I say, oh, it's still driving. And my mind completely shifted. And when I was
Mm-hmm.
even looking old car on the road, I was enjoying those old car. I wanted to
Yes.
be the person that said that my car has 200,000 miles. You see what I mean? So
Yes.
my mind wasn't about, see, this is something that uh, they won't tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Cars are one of the biggest or the most expensive thing that you will buy that goes down in value.
Yes. It's a a high
High
depreciating.
depreciation. For a
Yes.
50,000 car, the day you drive it out of the lot is already a used car. It
Mm-hmm.
loses 20% of the value. That's
Yes.
10,000 that you just burn out just by driving out the lot.
Okay.
And after a year, it lose 30%. So that means 15,000. So now
Mm-hmm.
you just turn 50,000 in 35,000. And
Yeah.
after 5 years, it loses around 60% of the value.
Yes.
So you just turn 50,000 into 20,000 in 5 years. That means you lost 30,000. But that's not all. You are paying interest in the
Mm-hmm.
amount. I just took the amount. Now you are paying
Mm-hmm.
interest. So that means you turn 60,000 with interest into 20,000. If you keep doing that, you are going the wrong direction. So you spend 60,000 for something that is worth 20,000.
Yes.
So
Yes.
when you sign for a car loan, what people are not factoring is what? If your car loan is 500, this is really important what I'm going to say. 500.
Mm-hmm.
We don't factor depreciation and inflation. When I signed
Mm-hmm.
for 500 in 2020, for example, and I signed for 6 years up to 2026, because of the
Mm-hmm.
inflation, the 500 that I locked in 2020 is no longer 500 in 2026.
Yes.
Because of inflation, I will need more in my rent. I will need more for my grocery. So for me to squeeze the same 500, in reality, maybe I'm
Mm.
squeezing 600 to 700.
Yes.
The second thing is that the car is losing the value. So you are keeping paying, but it's going the wrong direction.
One direction. Yes.
And at the end of the day, when you have those expenses going the wrong direction and you are keeping paying, you are not also factoring risk. Because guess what? You can be the best driver. If someone hit you on the road, the car
Yeah.
loses the value and you
Mm-hmm.
even lose more.
Yes.
It's, so it's not because you can squeeze 500 from your paycheck that you should go for that, because something can happen, risk associated with that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, summarizing 3 to 4 points, how does someone practically get out of debt, pay off quickly his debt,
Yes.
either car loan or store loan or credit card in general? What would you advise to someone on his journey of paying off debt? What will you say will be the top four, top three, yes, to pay off debt quickly?
Okay. Just a quick a reminder. Pay attention to the chat if we get a question right. So
Yes, I'm watching the chat.
okay, good.
Yes.
So
Mhm.
the thing is, a lot of people they will say, okay, I want to do this, I want to achieve this. They don't have a plan. If you
Okay.
don't have
That,
a plan, you are just wishing, right? And
mhm.
usually we say, if you don't know what you are looking for, you will never get it, because you might have it in your hands, but because you don't know what you are looking for, you don't even know you got it, right?
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
if you want to pay off debt, whatever debt is, first of all, know how much debt you are. a,
Yes.
a lot of people, they don't even know how much. They just know, okay, I have a credit card, I have. They don't know how much. Know the amount of debt that you have, and now you need a plan. When do you want to be debt free? The great thing is that
Mhm.
there are online calculator they're free. You
And
plug your
templates.
number.
Yes,
Yes,
and templates as well. In the description below, I've put in some free templates, and I have more coming that I'm prepping to pay off debt, to list your debt, and all those good stuff. But in the description, I have free resources you can download for free and more to come. Yes,
awesome.
so
Yeah.
go ahead.
So they are freely available out there. So plug your
Yes.
number and know, okay, I want to be debt free by that date. What does it
Mm-hmm.
mean? How much more do I need to put in my on my debt? How much more? Can I
Mm-hmm.
squeeze that from my paycheck? If no, I need a side hustle. Make more
Yes.
money. How much more money per month do I need? If you don't have those numbers, guess what? You are just wishing. You will not achieve that goal, right? And
Yes.
you can either use the debt snowball or the debt avalanche. Me particularly, I'm more of a debt snowball guy, you know. I think I'm biased with my research background, and a research show that doing the debt snowball, people are more like inclined to finish compared to the debt avalanche, right? That means just list your debt from smallest to largest, pay the
Yes.
minimum on all of them. If you have a
Mhm.
leftover, just put on the minimum. I think you nicely explained that on your channel. But
Yes.
the thing with me is that I only, uh, at that time, it was just one debt, right? So
Okay.
no snowball needed. It was just like that car. We wanted to attack the car with a vengeance, and we did it. But we knew how much money we needed every month to achieve our
To achieve
objective.
the goal.
And
Mm-hmm.
this is something that people they don't know. I just want to be debt free, but how? You need a plan. Go with the debt snowball because you have small wins that keep the momentum. You
Mm-hmm.
so you can be burnout when you sum all your debt. Let's say it's 100,000, and you start to, no, that's too much. I cannot even start.
That
No,
keeps you motivated.
correct.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on the small debt, pay that off, and that minimum payment will be free. So you can apply that to the second smallest debt, and so on and so forth. So yeah.
And I think we are in two different schools because I'm in a team avalanche. I use the avalanche to drop my maybe. Yeah, yeah, it depends. Man, most people needs to do the snowball, but few people prefer like me avalanche. I just want to drop those things,
No,
drop the high.
absolutely.
Because I don't want to. I don't want to lose a lot of money. That's just. And some people are like that. They prefer, but most people needs because most people need to be motivated to see quick result and move on. Yeah. So you said it.
Totally.
But
And honestly, I think money is more emotional than math, because I'm
yes,
sure if everyone was doing math, no one will get that.
no
Especially
one would.
Carlon, especially a Carlon, like running on the right direction and hoping to reach at the destination. That's why I feel like is so. If you have 10 debt, and after 2 months you can say, I have seven left, it gives you some momentum. It's emotional, it's not about money. I do agree
Yeah.
that avalanche, you will save few $100, but this is not what is actually a game changer to me. Is having that momentum of seeing the progress. Because if you have a, let's say, credit card with 20,000 at 25% interest, my dear, you will pay that for like 3 years, 4 years without seeing any movement, right? And you can get discouraged. But with a debt snowball, at least even if you have 10 debts and after a few months you have like six debts, you feel like I'm making progress. So, but you're right, pick your method. The most important
Yes.
is to
Yes.
dedicate to what you pick.
Yes. Yes. The most important is to pick whatever works best for you and run with it. I
Mhm.
think the goal is yes, mostly that. Yes. So yeah, so you said to plan, you have to know your numbers, you have to know your debt, what debt you have, and the amount you have. The second, you have to plan, give you a date that you plan to achieve that goal, and then what next? You have to sacrifice, right? Pay the price, cut expenses,
Budget.
earn more.
You
Yeah,
you have to
earn more.
budget. The funny
Okay.
thing is, If you talk to everyone, everyone budget. Oh no, I budget. If you want to talk to someone, oh no, I budget. Everyone budget. But the thing is
Yeah.
that it's not only about budgeting; it's about tracking your expenses,
Mm-hmm.
right? When you budget and you say, okay, you just write on a sheet, I don't know, grocery, I don't know, 500, and you just go out and you keep spending. At the end of the month, maybe you spend like 800. That's not
Mm-hmm.
a budget. So budgeting
Mm-hmm.
is being able, if you ask me how much I spend in gas, I know. I know exactly. So when I budget, when I go to grocery shop or whatever, when I come back, I have my receipt and I
Mm-hmm.
plug in what, and I can say, okay, I have 300 left for grocery this month.
Yes.
So when I'm already like $10 left, I don't even go outside because it will be tempting. So I know my budget is finished. So you have to budget. By budgeting, you have to do a zero-based budget. So you plug in all your
Mm-hmm.
income, all your expenses, it should be zero. If it's not
Yes.
zero, that means that you are not doing a great budget. And the budget
Mm-hmm.
is not to, you don't do the budget just to say, I do the budget. You have to stick to your budget. And
Okay.
how you do that, you have to track your expenses and make sure you stay in that budget.
Okay. Okay. And there's in the free resources in the description, there's a free budget guide. For me, I call it my ultimate financial independence budget template. So you can just download it for free and start putting in your numbers and know your numbers and track your numbers. So are you ready for the next question?
I'm always
Or
ready.
thank you so far. You sharing such valuable tips and information right now. So let's, yeah, I think you answer one of the question on credit score, and I think someone asked, how do you build your credit score? Do you have tips? And then I'll add to that question, do you think someone can thrive in this system of America without having a credit score, without having any debt?
That's such a
So
great question.
what is your take on that?
Okay. And let me say this, credit score is a number. What
Okay.
does it reflect? Something that people don't understand. And I discovered it because, I did my research. How are
Yes.
credit score calculated?
Mm-hmm.
35% of that is payment history. 30% is credit card utilization. 15% is your amount of credit mix.
Mm-hmm.
10% is new credit. So you see, everything I'm talking is credit, credit, credit. You didn't hear one of the portion is income. So
Yes.
if I take the first one, credit history. Let's say you
Mm-hmm.
pay your credit on time one like 1,000 times. Your
Mm-hmm.
credit history will be 100%.
Mm-hmm.
If you miss the 1,001th time, it's no longer 100. You agree with me? No matter
Yes.
what you do in the future, even if after that you do 1 million payment on time, you will
Mm-hmm.
never ever again be at 100 because you miss one.
Yes.
The other portion is credit mix. So that means for you to have a nice credit score, you need different type of credit. If you have
Yes.
only credit card, you are limited in the number of your credit score. So there's a certain threshold that you cannot cross. So
Okay.
beside your credit card, you need another type of credit. Oh, I need a car loan because I want to build my credit. So you get a car loan. The threshold is a little bit higher, but you cannot
Mm-hmm.
still reach that level. So what do you need? Oh, I need a mortgage. Oh, I need this. So the credit mix is part of the credit. The length of the credit. So if you take your car loan, please don't pay it off soon. If it was 7 years, keep it for 7 years. And you will see people, uh, I'm almost paying off my car. I have to go trade in and get a new car so I can keep building my
Keep
credit.
building.
Because when you stop, your credit, like the length of credit, will shrink and you will have a lower credit score. So just to tell you that the system was well elaborated for you to
Yes.
stay in debt, to
Mhm.
mix your debt so you can look good in front of
Yes.
lenders. Guess what?
Yes.
You are my good friend. If I transfer you now $1 million,
Yeah.
would
Do
your
it. I'm
credit
ready
score
to receive it.
Will your credit score change? It will not.
You will not.
It will
Yes.
not
If it's
change.
yes, it's just a debit. Yeah, you will
Yeah.
not.
So credit score, that's not a reflection of your wealth. It
Yes.
doesn't matter how much you have in your bank account. Your
Mm-hmm.
credit score for you to look good. And why do you need a credit score? To borrow more. So
Mm-hmm.
when you have your paycheck, you first think, hey, I have to keep my payment on time, 100%. First thing, I pay my car loan, I pay my credit card. So you are paying people to make sure you look good in
Good.
front of them. So tomorrow they can give you back money.
Yes.
But when are you paying you first? So you
Yes.
make them rich and you make yourself poor. The average car loan payment in the US is 750. The
Yes.
average length is 72 months. If you take at 5% now, that money you invest in a good mutual fund, you will have 74,000 after the length of the loan. I hope
Mm-hmm.
you love that car, because if you were just a little bit patient, you could invest that money, and when you have 74, you can just use 20,000 of that, which is purely growth, not your money, to pay the car if you want. And people are trading car every 3 years to keep with the credit history. And guess what? If you do that during your whole professional career, like 30 years, this is $1.6 million that you spend in cars. You
Mm-hmm.
better like that car because it's stealing your money. So this is
Yeah.
how credit score are built. And guess what? The day I pay off my car, my credit score dropped 80
Drop.
points.
Yes.
Why? Because I'm a bad slave. I should have stayed on debt, keep building that, right? They were not happy with me that you want to be independent. That's not a good. So just to tell you that the system is made for you to to like, that number for people is just crazy. Now, can you live in this country without it? Yes. Just live as we live in Africa. In Africa, if you need a car, what do you do? Car, okay, because of the currency, car are around, like, let's say 3 million to 5 million. This is not in US dollar. This is how car are back home, right? If you need a
Mhm.
car, you have to bring your banjok back, right? With money inside and buy
Yeah.
the car. So if you don't have the money, you don't buy the car. When I join, it's like you need a credit score so that you can buy a car, because people mentality is the only way to buy a car is through debt. That's not true. So
That's not true.
you
Yes.
save your money, buy what you have, and you can live without it. I know. What about a house? You need a credit card for a house. That's false. You don't need a credit score to buy a house. You can do
Yes.
what we call manual underwriting. They will just,
Yes.
with a credit score, even a monkey can approve you. It will just look at your score. Okay, is 700 is good, and give you a loan. But the manual underwriting, they will just look at your bills. Are you paying on time? Are you paying? Are you
Yeah.
and give you the money. So
Yes.
yes, you do not need a credit score to thrive in the US. You do not.
Wow, this is shocking. What you're saying is really shocking. But they'll say, when I'm ready to buy a house, how
I
am I
need a
going to
credit
do it?
score.
Yes, when I'm ready to do this, how am I going to do?
Save for that. And
Yes.
I remember in the story of the car loan, I told you that after that I bought a car 5,000. I was driving that car, and something also that people have to understand is when you pay. For example, we are talking about car, right? When you pay your car
Mhm.
loan, if your car loan is 500, 500 is not going to the principal. A portion
Mhm.
of that will go to the interest. Let's say 150. So
Mhm.
350 is going to your loan. So that means
Yes.
you will need more $500 payment to pay 5,000. So with
Yes.
that formula, it's not 10 500 payment will make 5,000. No. So when I was driving my bidder car, this is how I call that car. We
Mhm.
were saving to buy our next car because we didn't want to go back into debt again. So I could save the 500 into my pocket, and the whole 500 was for me. No splitting principal and interest. And when I want to buy that car, oh, it was so rewarding. I went there And I told them I'm a dealership. I work at a dealership, so I know all
Mm-hmm.
the in and out. I So I got like a very discounted price because I knew what I was doing. I didn't buy
Yes.
anything, and they were saying, "Okay, this guy we will catch back in the finance office." So when I
Yeah.
reach the finance office, they say, "Okay, so what is the length of the loan that you want? 60 months, 72 months?" I say, "Length of what?" "Oh yes, we are talking about the length of the loan for you." I'm saying, "Loan?" And they say, "Yes, so don't you want to finance?" I say,
You want to pay cash?
"Finance?" I say, "No, no, no, no." And they say, "Are you paying cash?" I say, "Is there another way of paying?" They were shocked. And I took back my vengeance when they told me that I couldn't afford my first car. I just draw a small paper in front of the finance guy and I say, "Please write the name of the person I should write the check to." And I was
Ah, this is
so
so
happy.
fulfilling.
Yeah,
This is so fulfilling.
you can imagine. And they were just looking at me that, wow, it was shocking to them. And I was so pleased to take back. It was
To
kind of,
sign the check, catch,
exactly, exactly.
drop it. You drop
So
and then you got up
yeah, and I
and you
wrote the
went out.
name and they were looking at me. I think they were shocked. They were shocked because this is not the usual. So yes, you don't need that. I save patiently. Avoid buy now, pay later. This is what is
Yes.
putting people into debt. I say I will drive that old car for the amount of time it takes me to get the money I need for my next car. And this is what I do.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. So let's jump into questions. There are questions, pending question.
Yeah,
Yes, I think you will just go over them really quickly. So the first one you just answered perfectly. I just displayed that on the board. I think you can read it. But the question is, what other side stuff can you do to make more to clear your debts? And then opportunities change with location, which is true. But in general, what can you advise just like that? I guess she's asking about side hustles ideas.
correct.
Yes.
I
What
think
can you say about
Yeah,
that?
no, absolutely. I think this is you can do a lot of stuff. You can do uh food delivery. You can work in warehouse if you have skills. This is what I've used. I have data science skills. So you
Yeah.
can like freelance, right? Work in project and get paid for your skill. So we have different skills. So just identify one skill that you have that you can use that to make money.
Yes. Okay. Good. And the next question is budgeting. Are balance sheets helpful for tracking? Maybe a small shot on at using Excel from that. So I'll answer the question and then you add if you yes. So this one is my favorite. I like sheets, I like numbers. Now it depends. There are three ways you can budget easily. There's a physical way. You get a plan, a physical copy. It works for me. I prefer the 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 physical planner. I always have that on my purse. Easy to budget. And then there's spreadsheet, Excel spreadsheet or Google spreadsheet. The same. I love those as well. I have one. These are the two I prefer. They are really helpful. You can pin that on your computer, easy access. Just enter the numbers, especially because I've tried so many different throughout the years. That's why I'm building what I believe will be easy for people to put in their numbers and get the chart. Easy to understand, easy to see. That's why I drop one in the description. You can just click and get a copy. Yes, so it depends. It depends on people. People like physical spreadsheet or Excel spreadsheet. It depends on how you prefer it and which one is easier for you. But they are really helpful. They are really helpful. All of them are really helpful. You have anything to add about that question?
No, I think are you right? I have a preference. I'm using an app called Every Dollar. I think
There's
that
app too.
yeah,
Yeah.
that app is very convenient. you install in your phone. So every time you can have a look, hey, how much do I have left in this category? So this is something you can also download for free. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yes. So physical planners, Excel spreadsheet apps, budgeting apps. Just pick one. You can try the different things and see which one is easier and flow more with your routine or what you have at hand in your life. So the next question will be, it's let's see, it's clearer for paying. Is it clearer for paying cash for cars? What about, oh yes, what about purchasing a house?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
that's
So
that's a great question. So I
yeah.
was talking about manual underwriting. That means
Mm-hmm.
if you are paying rent somewhere here, uh, just keep your receipt, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you are paying phone bills, that all of us are, keep the
Mm-hmm.
receipt. So the manual underwriting is what? They will not rely on your credit score. So I want to differentiate having no credit score and having a bad credit score. So if
Yeah.
you want to take the route of manual underwriting, you have to get out, like get rid of your credit card, close the account. After 6 months, your credit score
Yeah.
will be undetermined. This is
Mm-hmm.
different than having a bad credit score. You will have no credit score. Now, if you
Yeah.
have no credit score, they will use your rent payment and check if you pay everything on time. Another
Mm-hmm.
important aspect for the house is that people are taking like 30 years loan. I think we can have another session to talk about this. But
Okay. Yes, that's right, because it's really
yeah,
huge,
yeah.
vast.
Sometimes I just look someone, maybe you are 40 years, you take 30 years. I say, okay, this guy is really ambitious, right? Is a lot, right? If you, I would recommend 15 years. I recommend 15 years with a sizable down payment. Now, if you have no debt, because you should buy a house when you have no consumer debt, no credit card debt, no car loan, you have no debt. If you have your sizable down payment and the amount of money that you are borrowing is not too much, you are not at risk. They will lend you money to buy your house. So this is how it works for the house. Just try to get your down payment, and the amount, the difference that you are borrowing is not a lot. They will borrow you
Mhm.
money, and guess what? At the same interest rate that someone with an amazing credit score, right? The only difference here is worth nothing is that this has a limit. I think the limit is 700,000. So you cannot borrow with manual underwriting at more
Yes,
than 700.
more than
I'm not sure about
700,000.
that threshold, but there is a threshold. Don't quote me
Around that,
exactly,
yeah.
yeah, on the
Mhm.
number, but you cannot pass that. But for me, it's fine. Just borrow the amount you need and that you can afford. So this is how it works for houses.
But can you really, this is mine, can you really build wealth with no credits, on with manual manual underwriting process? Let's say you want to buy for for business. Yeah, because I think it's a question, do you, can you really build wealth with that restriction?
Yeah, so it depends of what you call wealth, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Arav, if you leverage debt to build
Yes.
wealth, you are
Mm-hmm.
leverage risk, right? Because debt
Yes.
equal risk. And I know the
Correct.
story of a financial guru well known in North America. He was doing real estate, and he had, like, I think, uh again, the number are just approximative. He has like 3 million in real estate asset, and in that 3 million, I think 1.2 million was his own equity and the rest was
Super.
debt, right? So if you
Mm-hmm.
look overall, he will tell you that I'm a rich guy, I have 1.2 million, but it was
Mm-hmm.
locked into those, like, apartment houses, into real estate. And guess what? The bank got sold, and the new investor, they came and they look and they say, okay, Lilian Matumba, I no longer want
Yeah.
to deal with this girl, right? They decided, hey,
Mm-hmm.
Lillian, they sent a notice telling the guy, you have 3 months to give us
Mm-hmm.
back our money. which was impossible to him. So he had to file bankruptcy and lose everything. So just to tell you that when you leverage debt to build wealth, you have an illusion that you have money, but it is risky. You can lose it, like once again you lose everything. But if you are patient and you leverage your own money to build wealth, for sure you owe that. And no one can give you ultimatum or deadline on whatever. So can you really build wealth without credit leveraging risk? Yes. But if someone take credit to buy a house, I will not be mad with the person, me personally, because at least a house goes up in value, right? Compared to a
Mm-hmm.
car that goes the wrong direction. So
Mm-hmm.
I will just tell the person, build your down payment something sizable, don't borrow too much, and try to put it within 15 years. That's fine. But not, don't take a lot of money, right? Yes. So you can definitely be successful and wealthy without leveraging debt. It will
Yes,
just
but
take
how?
some time. Pardon?
Yeah, it will take sometimes. It will take sometimes
So you
because
say how, right?
having mm-hmm,
I can give
having
you a
like
quick example.
a billion. Oh yes, go ahead. Sorry.
No, one example that I will give you is people, I will say you need to get a house. You are like wasting money in rent. Get a house, get a house.
Mm-hmm.
Many people, they get 30 years mortgages.
Mm-hmm.
If I take averagely like a house of 500,000 with
Mm-hmm.
5% of interest, if you take a 30 years mortgage, when you
Mm-hmm.
pay off that house, you will spend 900,000.
Okay.
So you almost pay two houses, one for the
Mm-hmm.
bank, one for you.
Okay.
Now, during that 30 years mortgage, between 19 and 21 years, you are paying more into interest than principal.
Absolutely.
So if you are telling me that I'm wasting money in rent, I can reply and saying you are wasting money in interest.
Yes.
The problem with people is that they are not organized, and when they take a house is a way for them to lock and force themselves to kind of save, because I have a mortgage, I'm forced to pay the mortgage so my family is not on the street. So they are kind
Mm-hmm.
of forced to pay the mortgage, they are kind of forced to save. But
Mm-hmm.
if you are someone organized and you know what you're doing, you rent
Mm-hmm.
and you put the difference, you invest the difference. We can have other session to talk how to invest. You invest the difference, and that's the diligence that people are not ready to go. Usually they
Yeah.
will eat that difference or go and get stuff, buy cars, do vacation, whatever. But if you invest that difference for 15 or 10 years, the amount of
Mm-hmm.
money that you have is enough to pay a house cash.
Yes.
I meaning investing the difference. So you pay your rent and the difference you invest. And when you
Okay.
have that money, just imagine you pay your first rental home cash. You have a cash flow. So people will pay you your rent every month. So this is how you build. And because your rental doesn't have any mortgage, the whole rent payment is for you. So you can take that and invest back because you still have your job. And
Yes.
now it will take you less time with the difference of between your rent and house payment, in addition with the rent that you have in your rental property together, it will take you less time to have another cash money for the next rental home. But
Okay, I think this is really huge. We might extend this to so many hours. I think we in the next episode will focus on that because
yeah,
there's a lot to say about it. So before I share with you and I ask your advice for a case that I have, share what will be your advice for someone who just got here in the United States, an immigrant. First of all, what will be your advice? Two to three advices you can give the person to manage the money the right way. And then what will be the mindset to have, knowing the system and the culture? And then round up with How does the environment impact the way the decision, the financial decision you will make? So I don't know if you got these three parts of that
Yeah,
question.
absolutely. I
So
got
the
them all.
first time commerce in the United States, someone
Yeah,
just immigrating in the country.
I no worry. I got them all. I will start even
Okay.
by the mindset. The mindset, keep your mindset from Africa.
Okay. Stick the
Because in
same mind.
Africa, we live with what I call common sense. You don't spend what you don't have.
Yes.
So now, the first advice would be, don't think that because someone is in the US before you, he knows everything.
Yes.
Do
Yes.
your
That's right.
research. Do your
Mm-hmm.
research. Do your due diligence. Question everything
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
budget. The
Yes.
second advice will be, avoid the trap of buy now, pay later. I will
Yes.
tell the person the most marketing thing in the US is debt. You can see
Mm-hmm.
the amount of mail that you receive with you got pre-approved with credit card. See all that paper that they are sending like to million of people.
Mm-hmm.
They know they are getting their money back. So
Yes.
that's advertised a lot. So I would say avoid the trap of buy now, pay later.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have the money, don't buy it. Don't look at how much per month. Just ask how much. If you don't have the total amount, don't buy it. And as a rule of thumb, I usually say if you cannot buy something twice, that means you cannot afford it. If you see something, ask yourself, can I buy two of those? If you cannot, that means
Mm-hmm.
you cannot afford it.
Yeah.
And the last thing I would say, build an emergency fund, a strong emergency fund.
That was my next question. Yes. Should.
Build, build a strong emergency fund. Guess what?
Mm-hmm.
60% of American live paycheck to paycheck.
Yes.
Among them, 45% earn six plus figure salary.
Mm-hmm.
So money is not about how much you make. You will
Yes.
never ever out earn your stupidity with money. The more you
Say that
make,
again.
lifestyle creep. The more you
Yeah.
make, more things you want. Because there is one thing that is the most important in finances, and people they don't talk about. It's not your
Mm-hmm.
income, it's your
Mm-hmm.
margin. The margin is what make you rich. Is what make
Mm-hmm.
you build wealth. And your so your income is your most powerful wealth building tool.
Yes. Right.
And if you take your income, you distribute it to BMW, to what, you will make them rich. Guess what? When you earn your money, the first person to get paid is who? IRS. Because they don't trust us. They don't trust us. They know that if they first give us all the money, they will not see any. So the first person, they first take it. Do the same. When you have your paycheck, first pay yourself.
Pay
Either by
yourself first.
saving,
Mm-hmm.
investing, then the
Mm-hmm.
rest you can spend.
Yes.
So I would say the emergency fund, build your emergency fund. If there is something that happened, you have cash to
Good.
avoid that. Yes.
Thank you so much. That was well said, on point. I don't have anything to add. So let's dive into our scenario. So I told you I coach people one on one, and this is the case I have, and I would like your take on this. I would like your advice. So I'm coaching a friend right now. He's in the US and he's so hard worker. Behind the scenes, his finances are a mess, a whole mess. I had an overview of that. It's a mess. Debt, overspending, poor habits. So here's the catch. He's about to get married. The spouse is in Africa, and he hasn't told her the truth about his financial situation. So this is his plan. His plan is like, okay, my goal is to clean up all the mess within 6 months to a year, so that when she comes, everything is clean up. So he's trying to fix the mess before she lands here in the United States very soon, in a year or so. But he's doing that in silence. He doesn't want her to know everything. No honesty, no teamwork. He's just hiding everything. What will you say to someone like that?
Great. I think that's a great use case, and we see this often,
And
right?
sorry, I don't cut you. I want your opinion as an immigrant, as a man of faith. So just get that deeper than that. Yeah.
No, absolutely. I think that's a great use cases that we see a lot,
Mhm,
especially within the immigrant community. And the first thing I
mhm.
want to say is congratulations to him for getting married, because
Yeah.
I don't know if you already heard about the marriage advantage, but research show that when you are married, you have an edge about building wealth compared to a single person.
Yes.
So if you listen to this and you're not married, get married. Okay, so that's a side note. And uh,
Mhm,
there's something with money is that the peace is not about how much you have in your bank account.
mhm,
So when I hear what you're saying, I see that the guy is stressed. And he's stressed
mhm,
because he's hiding from someone that is supposed to share the rest of his life.
mhm,
What is funny with money is that people can see themselves naked, but they don't want you to see their bank account.
mhm.
Isn't that funny?
It is.
So I think the first thing he should do is to be on the same page with his wife. He should tell the truth. He doesn't have to impress wrongly the person that you're supposed to spend the rest of your life. If she loves him, I think it doesn't matter if he has debt or not. One of the biggest mistakes he's making now is hiding that, because they will have their energy will be going into different direction. They might ask him stuff that he cannot afford, but she doesn't know. And to keep up, maybe he will go back into debt just to, be able to meet her needs.
Yes, her needs.
So
Mhm,
he's fooling himself. The first thing he has to tell the truth. He will feel so relieved. And after that, being on the same line can be hard at the beginning, but at least they need to be on the same page and they need to have the same goal. And when he will have the emotional support of his future wife, I think things will be different. And he will even see some blessing coming from God, because now they are doing one. If he want to do it on his side, this is not marriage. They have to deal with this together. So
But
at
how do you overcome the cultural understanding differences? Because the girl is in Africa. She cannot understand the culture of America, knowing that okay, all the dead stuff is easy to get the dead. She cannot she doesn't understand that. How do you advise him to approach the thing, telling her, exposing his financial situation to her in a way she can at least understand?
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know why he thinks that she cannot understand is because of people like him, like not telling the truth, right?
That's right.
So I think he thinks that she cannot understand. He just have to be open to her and say, "Hey, you know what? I think we had a bad start. I have
Mm-hmm,
to acknowledge you something. I lied to you."
mm-hmm.
Saying "I lied to you" will be a kind of therapy that he cannot imagine. I
That's
lied to
right.
you. I'm telling you, I told you that I was this guy in the US. To tell you the truth, I'm just a cleaner at this grocery shop. This is the real
Mm-hmm.
picture. This is I know you will be mad, but I really want you to know the situation, and I I am sorry. I am so sorry for doing that, but I really
Yeah.
want to tell you that I actually mess up. He needs a new start. Otherwise, let me tell you this: even if he cleans the mess, it's not
Mm-hmm.
solving his marriage problem,
Yes, that's right.
because you have to marry someone that you can trust. You have to marry someone that you can trust, that you can share everything, even what is making you not sleep at night. Otherwise, you're
Okay.
not married. So, him cleaning this is not the solution.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe this will help him even know if that's the right person to marry. Because if he
Yeah.
goes back and say the right thing, you know what? I told you that I was an engineer. I was joking. So I'm I'm the one opening the door. I won't mark. And if she said that, oh no, 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 me, I wanted to marry an engineer, at least he had the answer. He knows that he has to stop. But he is lying to him, not only to her. He need to address
Mhm.
this ASAP. It's not a financial problem. For me, that's
Yes.
a relationship problem.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and he is doing this. Why? Because
Okay.
deep into him, he feels like if he said the truth, he will lose that woman. That's why
Mm-hmm.
he's trying to, deep into him, he knows that. And I will say,
Yes.
my brother, if you have that gut feeling, marriage is so important. We usually say, if you marry the wrong person, even the devil will just leave you alone. That this guy already have a lot on his plate. So I will ask, pause and make sure you address this. If she don't want to be in the relationship anymore because of this, know that it wasn't the right person for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I felt the advice in my gut. Thank you. That was amazing.
Yeah.
So this is my last question. If you could sum up your advice in one or two phrases about money and immigrating into a new country, what will it be?
Be in the driver's seat.
Okay.
Don't trust everything that you got told. Be
Hmm.
patient. That patience is easy to say. Being patient. If you ask me, if we go back on time, will I take that car loan again? I will surprise you and say yes. You know why?
Why?
Because I learned so much since that. And this is
Okay.
what made the person that I'm now, the knowledge that I have in finances is because of that. I would not recommend someone to do mistake to learn as I did, but to learn
Hmm.
from people mistake like mine,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But if you
Hmm.
ask me, should I go back and do, I will do exactly the same thing because now I'm very aware. So,
Also, it's because of the debt. The debt caused you to look for education and knowledge.
correct.
Okay.
When I type on YouTube how to pay off your car loan in 1 day, this is where
So it
every
wasn't like someone encouraging you to, yes.
no,
Okay.
I was just we were feeling like no, this is so there's something wrong. But we were never at the point where we couldn't eat. To tell you the truth, it wasn't a burden because I know people having a burden. We have one debt type. It was just a car. People have cars,
Mhm.
student loan, medical, everything that you can. It was only that, and we were okay. We were affording the payment just like everyone. But it was just like we didn't want to live, but we wanted to thrive in this environment. And
Yes.
we didn't leave Cameroon to come here and be
It's
average.
so right.
Yeah, we really not want to be average. We want to be on top. And this is where
Yeah.
everything started. So we didn't reach a breaking point where the kids couldn't eat and I say, oh no, I have to get out of debt. No, it was just
Yeah.
like this thing is just imagine the last payment was 15,000. You know what I could do with 15,000?
Yes, a lot.
You see?
A lot.
So
Yes.
my advice would be patient, be patient, do your
Okay.
research, try
Hmm.
to understand the system. Don't get
Yes.
advice from people that were here before you. Some of them will have good advice, obviously. Some,
Yes.
I will not say that they will not have bad advice. Some they just don't know, right?
Hmm.
And they will tell you what they know and think
You
is
know.
good. Yeah. And
Mhm.
that might mislead you. And I would say
Okay.
save your money, build your emergency fund, and live with the mindset we had in Africa. Pray your
Wow.
God and like before you start anything, put everything into his hand. I will
Amen.
finish by saying this. There's one financial guru that I really like the way he answer when you ask, "How are you doing?" He says, "I'm better than I deserve."
Yes.
That's so powerful to me because me too, I'm better than I deserve, and because of God graces, and I feel like everything is just grace from God. And
Yes.
one thing that I've experienced is that the most fun you will have with money is giving.
Yes.
You will never buy something like either food or a toy or a car that will make
Mm.
you feel the same feeling when you
Yes.
give to someone in need. And for you
Wow.
to be able to give, you need to be safe
Wow.
yourself.
Wow.
That's my message.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. What a powerful conversation. I've enjoyed listening as always. As always. It's just that this one is public,
Yeah.
but we have this type of conversation all the time over the phone and when we meet. So thank you so much, my dear friend.
But
Thank
do
you
we
for
have
being
food
so
after
real.
this?
I wish.
Like
Thank
a
you so
virtual
much.
lunch?
Don't worry, we'll get together. We'll get
Sure.
together soon as family to enjoy a good meal. So
Uh,
thank you so much for being so real and honest and so generous sharing your journey. You didn't have to, but you you paid the price, you accepted to do it. Thank you so much. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful to know you. You're one of my close circle in my close circle, and I enjoy your friendship and your knowledge. Thank you for your passion to coach people to and help mentoring people, helping them figure out their finances. He's a coach as well, a financial coach as well, a personal finance passionate person, and he can dissect your finances like you've never seen it before. So I recommend him. In case you are interested in one-on-one, I'll recommend him as well. So thank you to everyone. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your engagement. Thank you for your questions. Thank you so much. Whether you drop a comment, ask a question, or you just listen quietly, you're part of my growing community, and I value you all the way. So here's what I will advise you to do next. If something stood out to you, don't just feel it. Please just apply it. If you've learned something from this conversation, apply it. Plan to put in practice, or because more to come. We will have more episodes on unfiltered finances with my same guest on the coming lives or videos. So we have a lot of stuff. So drop in the comment section any topic you would like us to talk about around personal finance, productivity, motivation, faith. I'll be glad to share that with him on this channel for you. And if you haven't already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, because there are coming videos during the week that I've prepared and planned to put out for you. And yeah, be sure to check out my free resources in the description below to help you take the next step on your journey if you haven't done so. So before you go, drop I believe in the comment if you're believing in a breakthrough in your finances this year. And I believe the universe, God, will draw all these things to you for you to get your freedom and your breakthrough in the area of your finances. We are not just here, as He said, to survive. We are here to build, to grow, and prosper with a purpose and intentionality. He is decided to do amazing things in this country, to thrive in this country with his finances, because there's a lot to do with our finances. There's a lot to do. There's a lot to give to people. You cannot give when you're broke. You cannot impact when you're broke. You cannot change people's life when you are broke or when you're the one receiving all the time. You have to put systems in place, plans in place to make your financial situation in a better status. So on this channel, we'll talk about investing, savings, spending properly, all things personal finance to help you get there. So this live conversation will stay up. So feel free to share it with someone who might need encouragement, and let's spread the truth to transform and change lives. Thank you again. Thank you one more time for sticking around. I'll see you in my next video. Thank you, Donna. Thank you for coming. Thank you. I'm privileged to have you. Thank you. And I'll see you in our next episode.
Sure, God willing. Thank you very much for having me. I really
Mhm.
enjoy being here. I see the chat also has been really active. It was
Yes.
amazing. So it will be always a pleasure. I think we should try to empower our brother and make sure that when people comes here they can thrive, and if we
Yes.
can leverage what we know so they don't need to go through the same mistakes that maybe we went through before
Mhm.
the yeah. So I think that would be great, and I think your channel is trying to address that. That's great. I want also to congratulate you and encourage you
Thank
to
you.
keep going. I know that's a lot of work, but what I know with God is that uh, w- uh work always pay off. So keep going, and you have my full support.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate it. So I'll see you in the next episode.
Sure. Bye.
Thank you.